let's take a look at the disc profile as another way to examine those 4 personality styles. I find a lot of people are familiar with disc. There are so many personality profiles that you can get online, from Myers-Briggs to the colors test, and are you an owl or a lion, and all those type of things. I'm sure you've taken these in the past, but let's focus on just looking at these 4 main personality styles from the DISC perspective. So we've given you a couple places that you can go online to take a free test. Now, what I have found over the years, TonyRobbins.com/DISC used to put a really huge free version out, and now you get a very small version of that, and then you have to upgrade, just like you will find in most places. So we've got a couple here for you, 123test.com. So you could play with some of those, or just Google it yourself and find a place to be able to go and take one of these online profiles and decide whether you want to spend the $10, $12, $15, $20 to get a full report. Again, it's very insightful if you've not done this before. And if it's been a while since you've done it, again, I recommend that you go and revisit that just to see what's changed for you, depending on what's happening in your life. All right, so let's just take a look at this chart, this colorful chart with the DISC. And you're going to see some of the same similar characteristics of what I mentioned, but let's just go through it. They just have different titles, different names for it. So the D is the director, is called dominance in this model. So results-oriented, strong-willed, forceful. The I, this would be the promoter. Okay, this is the promoter person, the socializer. So outgoing, enthusiastic, optimistic, highly spirited, and lively. And then your S is your steadiness, and this is the supporter, so the S's actually match up. Even-tempered, accommodating, patient, humble, tactful are the key characteristics there. And then conscientiousness, okay, which is the C in a DISC, which aligns with the analyst or the thinker. Analytical, reserved, precise, private, and systematic, okay? So dominance, another way that you'll see DISC, and depending on who's doing it, is the way they relate the DISC, because you'll get a DISC and you'll have a rating in each of them. So dominance is what the person places emphasis on to accomplishing results, the bottom line, and their confidence. So it'll be like a high D to a low D says that that's what a preference is for you. Where the I, the person places emphasis. So if you're high I, you place emphasis on influencing or persuading others. It's all about relationships and openness. If you have a high S on a DISC test, you place the emphasis on cooperation and sincerity and dependability. That's that supporter role, right? And then if you're more about conscientiousness, then it's about quality, accuracy, expertise, and competency, okay? So here's another great graph that you can take a look at with the strengths, as we've just, let me go down through this and just we'll cover each of them. So the high D, the director, the driver, the dominant personality, problem solving, the strengths, problem solving, decision making, results driven, accepting challenges, getting straight to the point. That's what you can count on in a D. Weaknesses can be blunt, they're going to find fault, they lack caution, can be overpowering and impatient. For goals, needs, it's unique accomplishments, new opportunities, being in control, having that independence. What generally Ds need to work on is showing patience, displaying sensitivity, getting into the details. They're more about just taking action. Let's get to the bottom line, allowing deliberation, and being vulnerable. That's the areas to work on. So let's take a look at the I, the influencer, which would be also the promoter in the initial area that I talked about. Strengths, communicating, participating, showing enthusiasm, being very magnetic and convincing, optimistic and trusting. Weaknesses are going to be time control. High I's are the ones that show up late all the time, right? Follow through, disorganized, dislikes being ignored, can be impulsive. For goals, what's going to drive people that are high I's with their goals and needs is victory with a flair, friendship and happiness, acceptance and prestige, popularity, recognition, and to be able to talk, right? So mine is really, the last time I've done this, in the very beginning when I had a DISC test, I was more of a high S. And through the years, depending on the job roles I've had, it's high D, high I. I've now recently the last time I took one of these tests, it was more high I, back to a higher S, and the D is moved down. It used to be super high, and it's now a little bit more, in a lower, not in the lower half, but above, probably like a 60 or 70%. But it's so intriguing to kind of see where you're at over the years on all of this, okay? So back to the I, as far as what I's need to work on, follow through completely. Boy, that's 100% me. Like to get going with the next project, and then you got to get yourself focused. So somebody that's high C is going to help out with that if you were hiring an assistant, for example, because they're going to work on making sure things get done for you. Research all the facts, speak directly and candidly, and stay focused for longer periods, right? So let's move on to the S, the supporter. That role there is less strengths are listening and loyalty and patience and having a calm manner and supportive. It's all about supportive actions. Weaknesses, overly possessive sometimes, may avoid risk and conflict, may be indecisive, and overly accommodating. For goals, needs, what's driving an S, a high S is personal accomplishments, group acceptance, maintenance of the status quo. They don't like a lot of change, and appreciation and security. And then to work on things that high S's need to work on are adapting to change or unclear expectations, multitasking, promoting themselves, and confronting others. And then the C, that's that conscientiousness in the disc, the thinker, the analyst, right? So clearly, strengths are being accurate and analyzing, objective reasoning. High C's want all the details before they're going to make any decisions. Challenges assumptions because they want it backed up by facts and details. Weaknesses are going to be maybe rigid, overcritical, a tendency to procrastinate because they don't have all the information, and overanalyzing, which will clearly, when you overanalyze, you can, you stop yourself from accomplishing anything. You can paralyze, right? For goals and needs, the high C wants unique accomplishments, correctness, stability, precision, quality, and accuracy. That's what's going to drive them. And high C's need to work on letting go and maybe delegating tasks, compromising, joining in social events, and making quicker decisions. All right, so hopefully that helps a little bit more dive into these 4 personality styles. Join me in the next lesson where we're now going to talk specifically about how to work with the 4 personality styles and give you some tips and insights in working with different people in sales situations.